This conference will now be recorded.
So just to give a recap how the function works, the syntax is always will start with def. If you are going to write a piece of code which is going to be repeatable in your main program, so def is the starting. What is this? Def, you're going to start your function with the def, then only system will identify you're writing a function and the function name. For an example, in the previous sessions when you're writing control statements or when you're doing some kind of aggregate functions, you have sum of x, sum of y, sum of z. That sum is nothing but a function. So when you go and see detail of sum, there will be a piece of code which is written by you giving the function name called sum. I can able to do some kind of aggregation. In the same fashion, these functions are user defined. You can give the function name what you want to apply. Maybe I want to apply some mean, subtraction, multiplication, and division, all five together. Then write your own function called user mathematics, something, the name whatever is defined. In bracket, the arguments are nothing but input variables. So you're passing some data, and that data will pass to your statements and perform some activities. Then you have an option to send return statement or directly can print it. So you have two options. We'll discuss what in by return statement going forward. So here is the example. Def display. I want to display something, and when I'm writing a main program, in the main program 10 times I want to be display. The developer name is Amarnath. So why to write 100? 10 times? Just write one time and call that fun by using a display function. So def displays the function name which I'm giving, and I'm not passing any arguments. The reason is it's just a display purpose. I'm not doing any kind of aggregations or some kind of transformations. So I'm not passing anything. So open and close bracket, colon, and print statements I'm giving two. So these two print statements will be displayed only based on demand. Demand in the sense, when I'm calling the function called display, then only these two will be displayed. Else it will not be displayed. So calling, how to call a function means just give the function name, open and close. That's all. System automatically call this function and display these two prints. So that was the thing what we discussed yesterday. Let me go to your file. Now you entered these two, and I mentioned you don't require to give the calling a function in a sequential order. You can give in any order, like means maths, English, open and close bracket, and before English you can give maths also. So no order, and the functions are user defined, and you can call multiple times. So I'm calling multiple times. Whatever I have within the function will be executed two times, the math function, and English will be executed one time. Now, Amar, why should I use math and English two times? I'll just mention DEF student or marks. Now here I'm giving function English, math. Now whenever I'm calling max function, this function will call the sub functions called English and mathematics. Whatever I have in English and the mathematics will be executed, and it will be perform activities. ENG. Okay, so spelling mistake. Now you can see I did not call English and mathematics directly, but these two functions, English and mathematics, are sub-functions for marks. So whenever I'm calling the marks, the marks is calling sub-functions called English and mathematics, and those two are printed. You can see here. Any questions? How it's working? Is it clear, or you want me to explain once again? For an example, if I've not entered the call function, if I execute it, nothing is performed because these are defined but not called. Functions will be executed only on demand. Giri and Amin, any questions?
No.
Right. So the same thing I explained here. What are the function properties we have? Define the function. We can able to define a function in another function, as I told you, sub-function. So why I'm using different names here? I'm telling function within the function. Now I use a terminology called sub-function. The naming conversion is user defined. So if you refer any books, the names will be different. Someone will say nested function, someone will say within the function another function, someone will say sub function, all are same. So DEF, display one, print, and display two. Now when I use a display one, what is your expectation? What will be executed? Will it be executed display one and display two together? Don't see the red, blue color. Just see only the red one. So what my question here is, I have a display one. I just mentioned print Amarnath, hello Amarnath, welcome to Python session. And within the function, I have another function called display two. Instead of writing outside, I written inside only, print hello students. Now when I'm calling a function called display one, will it be executed with display one, nothing but hello Amarnath and Python session, or will it be executed at display one and display two, both?
Only display one, Amar.
Why?
We are not calling the display two method.
We did not called. So since you not call the display two function, system is going to display only display one. Though it is a sub function within the main function or nothing but a function within the function, it is a mandatory you need to call display two. So here if you observe, I just mentioned display two as a call function for display one. In this scenario, you can see the 3 lines are displayed. So call function is mandatory to execute any function. If without that, it will not be executed. Clear?
Yeah.
What if I write, just for a knowledge brainstorming purpose, what if I write display two outside of this definition? That means here I'm writing display two instead of here. Will it perform?
Yeah, both functions will perform.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we are calling two functions, right?
But that is not a main function. That is a function within the function.
Yeah, it will work.
Did you try it?
I haven't.
Try once.
Okay. It won't work?
All these things, just think. Brainstorming purpose only I'm giving these things. Who knows, tomorrow you're writing a program within the, one function within the function, and you're expecting it to execute it. Will it work in this fashion? Means, let's see.
Okay.
Tomorrow you can answer me. Next class.
Okay.
So function to add two numbers by accepting user input. So user is going to enter two different values. By accepting those two, I need to give the outcome as sum. So user input means the information is int. The function I supposed to use it int. So I'm just asking enter the value of x, and the value whatever they're entering through user input, by default data type is going to be string. I want to convert as an integer because user input always string only. String plus string is going to be concatenate, but I'm not expecting concatenate. I am expecting sum. So converting it to integer and store it into x variable. The same exercise I'm doing for y also. User input I'm accepting from y, and input function will accept the data in a string format. I'm converting to integer and storing into y. And the start step z equal to x plus y. So whatever I stored in x and I stored in y, I'm going to be stored it in z. Print some value is z. So this is the function. This is the exercise what we did in when we discussed about data types. Now I don't want to take it as 4 lines because every time 100 times is 100 times we need to be executed. I can write a for loop, but thing is the same function I may be required to use 100 times in my program. So I convert as a function. So compute is the function name. So when I call the function name, system is asking enter the value of x, enter the value of y, and sum is going to be 5. Let me show you that one practically. def test x equal to int input of enter the value of x. Into the value of 5. Z equal to x plus 1. Print total sum is z. def sorry test open and close. So this is the defined function created, and I'm calling that function. So when I call this function, it will ask the first. It will perform the first line, nothing but asking user input for x, asking user input for y. Then system will perform x plus y, and it will display total sum. Now it's asking what is the value of x? 5. What is the value of y? 3. So total sum is coming as 8. Are you getting my point? How it works?
Yes, sir.
So similarly, you can perform few more exercises. Cube and function to accepting a display sum of list values. So you can see here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. You can take it as a user input or it's a hard coded. It's up to you. So some of the values, there are two ways. For loop I explained you, and second thing is sum function. So within the compute function I have sum function. So this is a inbuilt function. Sum is an inbuilt function, compute is a user defined function. You are going to get your values, like sum of the elements is 150. Now I have a question. Since if you're familiar with the functions, I have a question. Can I take input of, I'm just user input I'm giving for first function, that one to be, you need to do performance, I mean some kind of square or cube, something you need to do. The outcome of the first function should be an input of second function. Are you getting my point?
Say that again, Amar.
So I have my first function, maybe square.
Okay.
So yes, I'm defining as 1 or 2. So this is going to be user input. So when I give 2, system has to do perform square, right? Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
And the outcome of this one supposed to be input for the second function, nothing but s cube. Functions, not within the line by line. And the outcome of this one supposed to be input of square root.
Maybe we
Are you getting my
cannot.
point?
Yeah. Each output we need to provide a next input, right?
Yes, but that should be programming. I'm not expecting user input. My user input is just the first one, s equal to 2 or s equal to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting my point? This
Yeah.
is a different function, this is a different function, and this is a different function. 3 different functions, not within the function, within the function.
I believe we can do that because
That is very simple. Try it. And next one is, if I give this s equal to 2, s equal to 2, if it's an even number, square has to perform. If s equal to 3 is an odd number, cube has to perform. S equal to, are getting my point? This is
yeah.
one step, one assignment. And second assignment, what I'm asking is, based on the user input, if it's a user entered even number, square perform, cube, sorry, odd number, cube perform, and any other prime numbers or whatever it may be. If
Mm-hmm.
it's a prime number, perform square root. Or if user entered a instruction saying that it's supposed to be act as a string. So 2 supposed to act as a string.
Mm-hmm.
If the user enters, then it has to say that test is so and so number,
Mm-hmm.
or test value so and so. Are getting my point?
Yeah.
Giri, what about you?
Summer.
Now, this is your responsibility. I don't want hundreds of lines. Use a function and let me know how we can handle it with optimized code.
Okay.
So far you seen the functions without any arguments, nothing but no user input. Now let's see what are the categories we have in functions. So categories in functions in the sense the functions with no parameters and with no return type. So no parameters means no inputs, no arguments, and there is no outcome also. I mean the value is not going to be stored in certain function itself. So you can see here I have def add 1 y x equal to 10, y equal to 10, z equal to x plus y, sum of the z, and I'm calling that function. So straightforward, we have got the answer as 20, 10 plus 10. And here x and y are not user input, those are hard coded. Clear? But in another scenario, I'm giving arguments. When I give the arguments, that arguments has to be take it and it has to give a printout, and it should not supposed to be stored into a function. So the same passion, I'm defining a add to in bracket x comma y. X comma y are nothing but 2 arguments which I'm where my user is going to be give the inputs of x and inputs of y. Based on that, I'm going to perform some kind of action, I mean execution. Then that one I'm going to be return. For example, add to x comma y, z equal to x plus y. What is my x? What is my y? I don't know. Whenever my user calling a function, he will decide what is my x and what is my y. Print sum of the z. So when I'm calling a function, within the function, in a brackets, I'm giving x and y in a sequential order. So first one will go assigned to x, second one will assign to y. So you're getting 30. Any questions? And this one we call it the position based arguments. So the first position will go to X and second position will go to Y, third position will go to Z in this fashion. If you have another variable Z, then it goes like that. Then we have another type argument called keyword position. Keyword position arguments are similar like your previous step only, but thing is same. The function is same, no difference. Add 2 equal to x comma y, z equal to x plus y, print sum of z. I'm also printing x value and y value. When I'm giving function, calling a function, I just mentioned my key values. So y is supposed to be 10 and z is supposed to be 20. So I got the outcome as 30, but in the previous example, I told position based. That means in the previous example, 10 goes to x and 20 goes to y. But here I'm giving the labels also y equal to 10 and key equal to x equal to 20. That means though the positions are changed, but I map to the right variable, so system will go back and assign x for x 20 and y equal to 10. So this is a key based. So you can see here. Are you getting my point? Or any questions? Okay.
Good, Amma.
Functions with arguments and with return type. So what is happening here means I'm not giving any print function. I'm storing the value of z in function itself. By giving a print, I can able to return that value. So def add 3x comma y, z equal to x plus y, return z. That's all, nothing else. So when you return z, function call value written using a variable called z. So the value whatever is stored in a function z, that will be returned to the function itself. So function cannot be used for assignment purpose. So add 3 10 comma 20. No print for this because there is no print option here to print a z value. So what I'm doing here is add 3 10 comma 20. I'm assigning to some variable and print p. So the print option I'm doing outside. So what is happening by return type in the sense, return type will hold the outcome of your function and it will store in a function level instead of displaying by using a print. Whenever you want, you can by using a print statement outside of your function and display it. Now you can see print add 3 10 comma 20. You're getting 10 30 only, 10 plus 20. Or you can display print of p. I assign my function to one variable. That variable I printed. So print 3. So you have two options. So you can store the values and return to a variable or a print option by outside of a function. That way also you can get it. Amar, where can I get it? This kind of scenarios means in a data analytics. You are performing some activities by using some functions. The outcome you want to be stored in some variable, and that variable you want to be print out to Excel or visualization to Tableau or something. Those scenario return statements all play a vital role. Functions with arguments and with the return types. So I have with arguments like y equal to 10 and x equal to 20. Sorry, that is over. Add 3x comma y, z equal to x plus y, return equal to z. And add 3 10 comma 20. So there is no statement. So I'm assigning to a variable and printed. Now can function return a multiple values? I want to return multiple values. Earlier z is the only one value. Now I want to return z comma a comma b comma c. Can I return this? 100% possible. So for example, in this scenario, define compute s1 s2 s3. So there are three values I'm going to be pass it. With the help of these three values, I want to return the subject 1 marks, subject 2 marks, and subject 3 marks. I want to return the total marks and I want to return the average marks. So total equal to s1 plus s2 plus s3, average equal to total by 3. So return TOT and AVE, both I want to be written. So my function will hold two values, TOT and AV both. Now, what I'm doing is I'm using a compute function, the same function name in bracket subject1 marks plus subject2 marks, comma subject3 marks, s1 marks, s2, s3 marks, and my return values are 2. So I'm storing into two values, p comma q. So total will go to based on the position. P will get the marks of total and q get the marks of average. So when you see p, you'll get total in a sequential manner, position based it will assign. Average will go to q. So you can get it 60 comma 20. Any questions? So the position based also we can call it as a call by value. So call by value is nothing but calling a function by providing some values. We call it as call by value, nothing but position. So display x comma y, z equal to x plus y, print x, print of z, and display 10 comma 20. So this, since we are calling a function by using an arguments 10 comma 20, so this we call it as a call by value. Call by reference is nothing but you're going to give with the keywords. And example using a list type. So can I pass a list and get a sum of that, or some kind of exercise I want to do? Can I able to do that? Means we can. So list. So I'm defining a list function. The variable is not a list. It is going to be a variable list one. And for the list one, the variable whatever I have list one dot append function I'm doing, and I'm assigning a new value called 60. Then I'm printing it. So this is the function what I have it. For this function, I am passing a list one equal to list of 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40 comma 50. So some values I have it. Now I'm printing this one. Then I'm going to be display list one. So what I'm doing is first I'm displaying my list. So print list one comma id of x. So I got my list one. After that I'm calling a function display one by passing a list. So when I pass to a list, the list will pass to display, and it is going to be append a new value called 60, and it is going to be displayed with id. So you can see here. Clear? Any questions?
No.
Now I have one more concept. I have a list 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I am passing to the function. I'll display it. I'm passing to the function. When you see the display function, what is happening here means the list has been overwritten with another list name values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Earlier it was 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I got displayed. So you can see both the numbers. Here my question. When I go for print option outside of this function, maybe here now, print list one. Just assume that this copy paste here. Now, will it displayed 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, or since the function is performed and we stored a new values here, so will it display 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Are you getting my point?
Mm-hmm. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50.
Why not? Because after that only we assigned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no?
But we appended.
It's not appended, it's overwritten.
Still it will display 10, 20, 30, 40, 50.
You're right only, but why?
It will overwrite inside the function.
So the concept name we call it the global variables and local variables. We'll discuss in future.
Okay.
That displays 10, 20, 30, 40 only. So next class we'll discuss about that.
Yeah, okay.
Global variables and local variables. What if you want to change the global variables, how to change the local variables, we'll discuss in the next class.
Okay.
So though you're right, it displays 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And what is the reason behind that? Tomorrow's class we'll discuss.
Yeah.
Any questions, Giri?
Kumar.
I will share the recordings. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Bye, Amar.
Bye.